Okay, students, so we can start the session.
Yes,
Good
ma'am.
evening. Yes, so this is our second class. Like under my mentorship, this is the second class. So today we are going to start our sessions formally. And the first topic that we are going to learn is self-introduction. Okay, so before moving to grammar or anything else, we are focusing on self-introduction and what is self-introduction and why self-introduction is important, and finally you will learn how to do a proper and formal self-introduction. Okay, so what is meant by self-introduction? That is the first and foremost question that we have to know. Self-introduction is the art of introducing yourself to someone or a group of people in front of you. Self-introduction is the art of introducing yourself. I am calling it an art. Okay, you can quote that word, art of introducing yourself in front of the people or in front of one person. So why is it called an art? You are simply introducing yourself, right? Why do we call it an art? What is the to call it an art? Art is a kalai. We call in Tamil. We call it as a kalai in Tamil. So is self-introducing an art? We may think that everyone can do that, right? What is there in that? What is special in that? Of course, self-introduction is an art because each person introduces himself or herself in a unique way. For example, if you ask me to introduce myself, I will introduce in one way. If you ask my friend does in another way. If I ask Sangavi will do it in one way. If I ask Amrita, Amrita will do it in one way. Or if I go to Usharani will do it in one way. So each person does the self-introduction in their own unique perspective. Okay, so if each person does in their own way, will it be correct? Is there only one method or there are different methods, or are there any different methods? Actually, the method is same, but the way you express can be different. Okay, formal introduction has to be formal. There is no change in that. Introduction should be formal if you go to a company to introduce yourself, or if you go to a party and introduce yourself among other people who are who have gathered there. The introduction should be formal, but still the way you present it can vary from person to person. So that is why we call it an art. Okay, so self introduction is an art of introducing yourself to the people in front of you. Okay, have you all heard this saying, first impression is the best impression? First impression is the best impression. It is true then, now, and forever it is true. So why is self-introduction important? The first question was, what is self-introduction? I answered that. Now, why is self-introduction important? The answer for this question can be given in the form of the saying, first impression is the best impression. Once you enter a place and you introduce yourself, it can be for 1 minute or 2 minutes or even for more than 2 minutes. Say maximum you take 5 minutes to introduce yourself. The way you are introducing impresses the people who are around you, and that will give you an image among the people. It is the way you introduce yourself that creates an image of who you are among the people standing around you. Okay, so after seeing my way of introduction, the people will decide, oh, this person is this kind of person. Though we are not going to tell everything, each and everything about us, because we too have some kind of privacy and confidentiality to maintain. But still, from the details that we express outside, people can overall make out a picture of who we are. They can make a outline at least about who we are. Okay, so that is why we call self introduction as the first impression is the best impression, and it should be always done in the best way. Okay, so imagine that you are going to a company or you are already working in a company. Okay, so when you were when you applied for this job and when you had an interview, definitely you would have had a section called introduction of yourself. At that time you all would have introduced yourself, right? Was there a
Yes,
self-introduction during the interview?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, so at that time you all would have introduced well. That's why you all got selected in this company. Okay, but still you should know better more to develop this skill. Because in the last class when sir asked you to tell something about yourself, most of you were hesitating to speak except one or two. Most of you were having some kind of hesitation, like how to start. That is the first and foremost thing that confuses you, is where to start or how to start. If someone asks you, tell me something about yourself, enga ஆரம்பிக்கிறது? That is the question that confuses most of us. Okay, so it is to avoid that confusion, we should learn that formal method of introducing. So once you are aware of the steps, once you learn the steps of introducing yourself, then there will be no kind of confusion. Whoever asks you, you can do that. Even if your friend asks you to do, or if your teacher, if you go to your old college and if your teacher asks you to introduce yourself, you can do that. Okay, if anyone asks, you can do that. Fine. So why is self-introduction important? That is already told. Now, how to introduce yourself? That is what we are going to learn step by step. And before that, self-introduction are in two ways. That is the basic thing that you have to understand. Self-introduction is basically of two types. One is formal introduction and the other one is informal introduction. Formal and informal. So under for informal introduction, let me first tell about informal introduction, because that is not much used nowadays. It is used only in places where you attend some get-togethers or parties among your family itself, like family get-togethers or some family meetups, etc. Okay, so informal get-together is very rarely done nowadays, whereas formal get-together is gaining importance day by day. It is because in most of the places it is formal introduction that grabs attention, that requires importance. Formal introduction requires more importance than informal. Informal means what? Just like speaking to your friend. Like you will be taking even 5 to 10 minutes. There will be no time limit. There will be no need of any formality. No need of greeting anyone. No need of respecting anyone. You can simply start from wherever you want and you can end it in your own style. Whereas formal introduction is not like that. It has a proper beginning and it must have a proper end, and it has a definite time limit as well. It must have a definite time limit as well. Time limit is very important here. It is depending on the time that is given to you that you have to decide what all you should speak and what all are not required to be spoken. Clear? So today I have not prepared any PPT, so I am not presenting any PPT. You can just note down the points that I am telling, so that after that we can do a demo, like a mock self-introduction activity. Okay, so the first and foremost thing that you have to know is greetings. Okay, so self-introduction, the first thing you have to know is greetings. So why and what type of greetings is important? Okay, why greetings is important? Especially in formal introduction, we are going to learn. The first part is greeting. Greeting a person is always something that makes the listener happy, right? If you are going to a school, imagine that when you were going to school, we all greeted our teachers, right? Saying good morning or good afternoon or good evening. Some kind of salutation was used there. Okay, so similarly, a greeting is of utmost importance when it comes to self-introduction. So the first part of a self-introduction is greeting, and you can start your introduction with either good morning or good afternoon or good evening. These three salutations can be used based on the time. Okay, if the imagine if your interview is before 12 o'clock in the noon. If it is before 12 noon, then you can use good morning. If it is after 12 noon and before 4 noon, if it is 12 to 4, then you can use good afternoon. And if it is from 4 o'clock and from 4 o'clock till even it's some, we don't know, even some interviews may happen at 8 p.m. We don't know, depends on the time of the company. So if it takes time even till 10 o'clock in the night, no problem, you can use good evening. Okay, we never say good night, right? So good evening, so good morning, good afternoon and good evening. So these are the three time periods that you can mention in your greeting according to the situation, according to the time. Okay, you can also just note it. If it is an informal introduction, you can introduce in another way. You can say either hi, hello, or like good morning, good evening, or anything. Okay, so hi, hello, they are two alternatives in informal introduction. Okay, like when I asked you to introduce yourself with your name and department, you told hi ma'am, hello ma'am. Some people told good evening ma'am, some people told hi ma'am. That's okay because that was an informal session, so that was okay, fine. But when it comes to a formal session, hi and hello can be avoided. Okay, the interviewer may ask you, may tell you hi or hello, that's okay. Interviewer means the person who conducts the interview. Interviewer, for example, your MD was your interviewer when you attended the interview during the job selection. Interviewer is the person who conducts the interview, and interviewee is the person who attends the interview. Clear? So the interviewer can sometimes say hi, hello or something, but the interviewee must always be formal. Okay, fine. Now the second step. The first step is greetings. Moving to the second step, it is your name. Okay, introducing your name. So how to tell your name? There are two ways of telling your name. Okay, either you can tell my name is, let me tell my name. My name is Annapurni. Either this is one method, or you can say I am Annapurni. Either my name is dash, my name is Amrita, or my name is Suhita, like that, or I am Suhita, or I am Amrita, like that. You should never tell myself. Never start a sentence with myself. Okay. Some people are mistakenly using this myself Amrita or myself Kavya. They are telling like that. Actually, no need to tell like that because that is a wrong statement. We don't begin a sentence with myself. Okay. So either you can say my name is dash or I am dash. Okay. Next comes your place. Your place. So when telling your place, you have to say I come from dash. So if you come from Hosur, you can say I come from Hosur. If you come from Bangalore, you can say I come from Bangalore. Okay. Instead of I am coming from, don't need to tell like that. That is in continuous tense. No need to tell I am coming from. You can just say I come from. I come from Bangalore or Hosur. And imagine that there are some people who come from some place but they belong to some other place. For example, some people would be working in Hosur but they would belong to Tamil Nadu or some other district in Tamil Nadu, Erode or Salem, something. So at that time they can tell I come from Hosur and I belong to Tamil Nadu. If there is such a case in your life, then that is applicable for you. In my case, like I was born and I belong to the place now at Calicut, so I come and belong from Calicut only. But when it comes to people who are working in a different place, and they can tell that I come from this place. At present, I am at this place, and I belong to the place where you were born. Okay, so native place is what you is where you belong to. Okay, so you can tell I come from Hosur and I belong to, you can tell your native place. Okay, after the place, it comes to your age. Okay, so age is actually an optional part because some people may not be interested to tell their age. So if the interviewer asks you how old are you or something, then you can specify it. Else you can, if you are interested, you can tell, otherwise it's not necessary because already you would be giving your resume to the along with the application you will be sending your resume, right? So age is not necessary to be mentioned during self introduction. Okay, that can be taken as an optional part. After that, it comes to your present status, like whether you're working or studying, or are you how are you applying trying for a job. That is the next part. So we completed greeting, name, place. After that you have to express your present status. So you all can tell I work as dash. Whatever is your designation, you can tell that designation. I work as a dash at Freedom Lens Company, Huzur. So this is your current status. So you can tell that I work at Freedom Lens Company as a dash. If you are a marketing executive, then you can tell I work as a marketing executive at Freedom Lens Company, Huzur. Or you can tell like this also, I work at Freedom Lens Company, Huzur as a marketing intern or a marketing executive, something like that. Okay, now we are going to the qualification. The next part is educational qualification. So here you can tell your qualification starting from the highest qualification. Always tell your educational qualification starting from the highest. Okay, imagine if you are a postgraduate. If you are a postgraduate, start from your post-graduation, then come to graduation and then come to your schooling. Or if you are a graduate, that's also fine. Start from graduation, then come to the schooling. Or if you have done only till plus 2, till higher secondary, that's also fine. You can directly talk about your higher secondary and your 10th school boarding. Okay, 10th board exams. So how to do this? You can express this in two ways. Coming to my case, no, I did only UG. Okay, graduation. So I didn't go to PG. So let me tell mine. I completed my graduation from the name of my college. Okay, so either you can say I completed my graduation from dash college, and you can tell your stream of the subject in dash subject. Like how, for example, I did a BA English Literature, so I can say I completed my graduation from dash college in BA English Literature. Okay, similarly you can also write your course, your stream of studies. Okay, after that you can come to your schooling, and you can continuously tell that, and I did my schooling from a dash school and the name of that place. Okay, so I repeat, I completed my post-graduation or graduation from dash college in what stream? In BA English Literature or in MA English Literature, something like that. After that you are coming to your schooling. Okay, after post-graduation you will mention the graduation also, and after graduation you can come to your schooling. There you can tell I did my schooling or I completed my schooling from dash school dash. Okay, so this is about your education. So greetings is done, name, place, current status and educational qualification. Now moving to the fifth part, you can tell about your family in short. About your family in a very short way. Okay, like it should be just 1 or 2 sentences, not more than that. You can say that I belong to a family of dash members. Okay, or I belong to a family of dash members. It may be 3 members or 4 members or 5 members, any number. I belong to a family of dash members. Okay, and you can tell if there is something special. For example, if you are the eldest daughter or if you are the youngest daughter, you can add that point. Okay, that will add some value. You can maybe say I am the eldest child in my family, or if you are the youngest, you can say I am the youngest son in my family. Okay, eldest means the first one, youngest means the last one. And then you can tell about your if you are the only son or daughter, ஒரே பையன் இல்ல ஒரே பொண்ணு, you can also mention that I am the only son or I am the only daughter for my parents. Okay, so just conclude in 2 lines about your family. No need to tell everything about my father is a dash, my mother is a dash. That comes in informal introduction only. Okay, so after the family, now talking about your hobbies. You can talk about your hobbies. Everyone will have hobbies, right? So my hobbies are listening to music and what to say, helping my mom in the kitchen. These are my hobbies. I also write, so sometimes I can also call it as my hobby. Mainly writing and listening to music are my hobbies, I would say. So you can write at least 2 hobbies. You can write at least 2 hobbies. Then it comes to your strengths and weaknesses. This is a very important part. Strengths and weaknesses are asked in most of the interviews, either directly or indirectly. Okay, so some interviewers will directly ask, can you give one strength of yours and one weakness? Some people will not directly ask that, but they will just give some situations and test you. Anyways, you can mention your strengths and weakness. Okay, at least one strength and one weakness. Okay, strengths, everyone will have at least one strength. Okay, so you can write one strength. It can be a good quality. Strength means a good quality of yours. For example, I'm kind towards everyone. That is my strength. Or you can say, I am an honest person. That is my strength. Some good quality of yours should be your strength. And when it comes to weakness, please remember, like everyone will have weakness. I will also have some weakness. You will also have some weakness. But that weakness should not be expressed transparently to the person outside. This is the method, tactic that you have to know. Like for example, I may be what is a person who is not so patient. Sometimes, okay, we don't know. Sometimes we may have that quality, or some people they may be short tempered. Short tempered means the person who gets quickly angry. Okay, so these are the different types of weaknesses that we have. But if we go and tell the interviewer, sir, I am a short tempered person, sir, I am not, I am a dishonest person, if you go and tell like this, definitely you will be rejected. So instead of telling your weakness like that, what you can do, consider some weakness of yours which is a weakness for you, but it is a strength for others. Okay, it is a weakness for you and it will be a strength for others. For example, if you ask me what is your weakness, I would say if someone joins uh, late to the class, I become angry. Okay, I'm not telling you, okay, like I'm not telling Adaikalam sir today because you joined 10 minutes late. Now அதை சொல்லல. In general, no, when I conduct classes, some students know, if I tell 3 o'clock, they will be joining only at 3:15 or something. So at that time we really feel frustrated. Okay, this happens regularly, we will feel frustrated. Yeah, so that is what I mean. So you can say, if someone completes his work delayed, I feel angry. Or you can say, if someone cheats me, if someone betrays me, I get upset. Okay, so these are all natural qualities. Okay, but in the madri the qualities we can tell during our weakness section. Okay, then if someone talks behind you, if someone talks back, if someone talks back at you, talking back means to tell negative about you, then it makes me upset. Okay, so that is a weakness for you, but it is a general common thing that everyone will have. So that will not be considered as a negative thing. Okay, so இந்த மாதிரி weaknesses சொல்ல பாருங்க. Okay, so hobbies are done, strengths, weakness, and then moving to your ambition in life, aim or ambition. Okay, so ambition is the last part. Everyone will have an ambition. Okay, my ambition is to become a good government school teacher. Okay, I don't know how long it takes to, but my ambition is to become a teacher. Similarly, you can also write your ambition. My ambition is to become a dash. Either you can write my ambition is to become a dash, or you can write my goal is to become a dash. My ambition or my goal, both are same only. Okay, so this is how. With this, and finally you can conclude, thank you for giving me an opportunity to introduce myself. You can conclude like this: thank you for thank you for giving me the opportunity to introduce myself. That's it. With this, the self introduction part gets over. So this is how we have to do a formal self introduction. So now let's revise from the first one, starting from the greeting. You told your name, then you mentioned your place, your present status, then your educational qualification, and then about your family, your hobbies, strengths and weakness, and finally your ambition and the concluding note. So totally there are 10 parts for a self introduction. Okay. When it comes to self introduction of school students, it will be different because they have to tell the school name of their school, their class, then their favorite subject. They will talk about all these things. Since we are doing a formal official self introduction, those aspects will not come. Okay, that is the difference between a self introduction of elders and children. Okay, so Adekalam sir, can you hear me? Is there any network issue there? Hello? Amuda ma'am, you can hear me, right?
Yes, ma'am, I can hear you.
So there is some network issue at that
Network
side.
issue.
Yes, yes, okay. We'll wait for that. Okay.
Okay, okay. He left the meeting, I think so.
Yes, yes, he has left the meet.
Uh, uh,
Sorry, ma'am, due to internet connectivity is got disconnected. We are ready now.
Okay, okay, fine, fine. Okay, so that is all about self introduction. Okay, so I am asking you all to prepare this today, okay, and you can do your self introduction on Thursday. Okay, I am not asking you to do the self introduction immediately today, so as you can prepare and you can do it on Thursday. Okay, so that you can also practice doing the self introduction. So once we are thorough with this, the next thing that we should know is how to practice self-introduction. Okay, how to practice doing this. So the first thing is, the question can be asked in 2 to 3 ways. No interviewer is nowadays asking you to do a self-introduction in a direct way. Okay, like if you go and sit in front of an interviewer, all of a sudden they are not asking, please tell your introduction or please introduce yourself. There are some people who ask like that, but the most common ways of asking is, can you introduce yourself? That can be a method. And can you tell something about yourself? Can you tell something about yourself? Okay, this is one commonly asked type of question. So telling something about yourself means, they mean self-introduction only. Can you tell something about yourself? It means, can you introduce yourself? Instead of directly asking like that, they mean you to introduce yourself. Okay, and along with that, I forgot to tell you, you can also be ready with some interesting thing about yours. Okay, in some of the interviews, it is being found that they are asking, can you tell some interesting fact about yourself? Anything interesting, okay? Like each person will have some interesting quality. Okay, so some people can say, I am a quick learner. It is like strengths only. We learn strengths and weaknesses, right? So likewise, just like strengths, you can find some interesting quality about yours and tell that if they ask you. Okay, on that you can tell if they ask you. Otherwise, no need to mention that. And then when it comes to the different questions, other questions that the interviewer can ask, they will ask questions based on your qualification or based on your hobbies. Okay, for example, if you are a student from BCom stream, then they may ask you some simple questions related to the stream from which you came. Or if you are applying for a job which is based on marketing or something, definitely you will have knowledge about that subject, right? So based on that subject, they will be asking 2 or 3 questions. So that cannot be like learned now, because we don't know what type of job we will apply for in the future, or what may be the questions that they will ask. Okay, so whatever job you are applying for, always be ready about the job that you are going to apply for. Be thorough about the job description. Okay, before applying for a job, you should always be thorough about the job description. Once we apply for a job, we will always read the job description, your roles and responsibilities, only then we will apply, right? So likewise, you should always be thorough about what the job is about and what is your qualification and how does it match the job. Are you really eligible for that job? Okay, then there are different types of questions an interviewer can ask. Okay, these are actually, when I go deep, no, it actually goes to interview skills. So I'm not taking the whole time today for that, but still some important points are not to be missed. That's why I'm telling. After that, I can say, yes, coming to the hobbies. Hobbies, like for example, I told I love writing. So some people will say I love reading books, right? Some people will tell I love reading books. So those people, if they simply tell that I love reading books, they will be caught. They will be definitely caught. It's because the interviewer will ask, what is your favorite book, or who is your favorite author. Definitely we can expect such a kind of question. So at that time, if we just blabber, no, they will identify that we are simply telling a hobby for namesake. So if you are telling a hobby, if you are mentioning a hobby or your passion, be sure that you have some knowledge in it. Okay, someone will tell, I love reading fictions. I love reading fictional stories, fictions. So they will ask you, what type of fiction do you read? Who is your favorite fictional writer? And why do you like that story? If I tell that I love Harry Potter, they will ask you, why do you like Harry Potter, or who is the main character in Harry Potter? They will simply ask these questions to test whether you are genuine, whether you are genuinely replying. Okay, it is to know your genuinity that they are asking such questions. When I once appeared for an interview during my final year in college, no, it was for a company named Zoho. But unfortunately, people from arts section were not selected because they were looking for people from computer science or engineering students. So we simply attended the interview to know what an interview was. So when we attended that, I just told my hobbies are reading epics and mythological stories. So that interviewer asked me, okay, what is your favorite mythology, and who is your favorite character in that mythology? So since my answer was genuine, I was able to answer at that time. I told that I love reading the stories from Mahabharata and my favorite character is Draupadi. I was able to answer that on the spot because I was not lying. It was a true thing. So similarly, always try to be genuine. Okay. And there is one more common question that I would like to tell today. They will ask you the difference between you 5 years before and now. Okay, like they are asking this question as well. Where are you 5 years back? Where were you 5 years back and now? Okay, so this is a question which tests your what to say, self-analysis. 5 years back, what were you? Or what was your knowledge, or where were you? Where were you in the sense, what was your knowledge about this world? What was your status? What were your expectations or hobbies? And after 5 years, now, what is your state? Were you able to reach your goal? Or are you aiming to do something else? Are you planning for something else in your life? So this is the question that is also frequently asked. Where are you 5 years before and now? Okay. And one last question is, they will ask you, why should I have to select you for this job? Why should I have to select you for this job? So to answer this question, you must be clear about your strengths and weaknesses. More than weaknesses, you have to be thorough with your strengths and how that strengths can help you in your new job. Okay, how those strengths can help you in your new job. For example, imagine that you are applying for the post of a business executive or something. Okay, I don't know, still marketing or business or something, and you are having some qualities related to that. Apart from educational qualification, you are having some other qualities. So if the interviewer asks you, why should I have to hire you for this job, why should I hire you for this particular post, at that time you can tell your qualities related to that job. Okay, you can say, if you are applying for the job of a translator, imagine translator is a job where you have to translate to English from some other language. Okay, that depends on company to company. You will either have to translate from Hindi to English, or from German to English, or from Japanese. That differs. So at that time you can say, sir, I am fluent in 5 languages, I know 4 languages. Even this is also a strength. Okay, strength சொல்லும்போது you can also tell this. You can tell the number of languages that you are familiar with. Okay, so since I'm familiar in 4 to 5 languages, I'm versed in that, I think I'm eligible to be selected for this job. Okay, so this is how you can give supporting answers. Okay, and even before we apply for a job, we will first read the job description, and then we should also be thorough about the profile of the company. We should always read about the company's profile, about everything, when the company was found, who is the founder and who is the present MD, A to Z, everything you have to know about that company, because we don't know what kind of questions they will ask, no? So to easily crack an interview, these are the homework that can be done. A good, what to say, a reasonable homework is expected to be done. Without doing homework, it is a waste to attend interviews. Unless you do a proper homework, you can't go and crack an interview in the first attempt itself. Many people are cracking in the first attempt itself because they do homework. Okay, And how to practice self-introduction. Now I'm coming to that part. If you have friends or family members who can spare time with you, then you can ask them to sit in front of you and you can do an introduction, self-introduction, and show it in front of them. If you don't have anyone like that, if they don't have time to come, just go and stand in front of the mirror, close the door, okay, so that you will not feel like people are looking at you. Close the door, stand in front of the mirror, and practice this self introduction yourself, so that if you stand in front of the mirror, you will know what are all the errors that you are making, what are the changes that you can bring. Okay, you will come to know everything. I actually prefer that mirror method first. Even if we have people to help us know, mirror method is very good, because you can see yourself what you are doing, how you are presenting, and you can also make the required changes. So this is how a formal self introduction goes. Okay, and what is the time limit of a formal self introduction? Basically we are expected to do it in 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, not more than that. Maximum they give us time for from 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, because nowadays the 2 minutes itself is enough to describe all these things. 2 minutes is enough, I guess. When it comes to an informal introduction, you can even take time for 5 to 10 minutes, because nobody is going to restrict you. But when it comes to an interview or something, it's not like that. It's official. Okay, if it is an informal session, then you can, what is the difference between informal and formal is not only that greetings, everything. You can talk about your family more during informal introduction. You can describe about your family. For example, my husband is a doctor, I have 2 kids, my kids are this and that. You can tell everything. Then my husband is a lovable person, or he is a busy man, and my parents are in India. Anything like that you can speak. Okay, but in formal introduction, the importance is given only to the person called you. You are the only person about whom they want to know, because they are going to select you, not your partner or your parents or children. But when it comes to informal self introduction, you can speak even about your family. Okay, that is a thing which does not require any order. Okay, that can be done in a random way. Even after telling your qualification, you can tell your status or something. But in formal introduction, we should follow a proper order. That is the difference between formal and informal introduction. First is time limit. The second one is the details that you are providing. And the third one is the way you start. Okay, greetings. So these are the 3 major differences between formal and informal self-introductions. So this is all about self-introduction. So one day we will have a special session where we will learn about the tricks and tips for interviews. Okay, so one day we will learn that. So today we have completed this introduction part. Any doubts? If anyone is having any doubts, you can ask.
It's fine.
It's fine. Okay, so my task for you for Thursday's class is be ready with your introduction. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, you can be ready with the self introduction, and each one can do. The first 15 minutes we will spare for self introduction, and then we will start the class. Okay,
Sure.
so yeah, sure, sir. And our second session is about the importance of LSRW skills. Okay, so the next session we will focus on the 4 aspects of communication, that is LSR and W. So you can just write a heading even today itself. Okay, LSRW. It stands for listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Okay, the 4 key parts of communication: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Okay, so how are LSRW skills important for our daily communication? This is what we are going to focus. And I'm just giving an introduction today since we have 2 to 3 more minutes. Listening is the first thing that we do in our life when we start learning a language. Okay, so what's your mother tongue, everyone?
Tamil, Kannada, Telugu.
Tamil, okay. Some are having Kannada, fine. Okay, Telugu. Okay. So how did we all learn our mother tongue? We started speaking only at two and a half or three, after 2 years. Okay, some kids will speak only at 3 years. We all started speaking first by listening. We all started listening first. So that is why we are giving L as the first letter of communication. First, we started listening to what our parents or grandparents or family members are speaking. Slowly, after listening that, we started speaking. We started to speak, to utter small words like amma, appa, akka, like that. We started speaking, and then we started speaking sentences, and sentences became paragraphs. Okay, so listening, after listening comes speaking, and then after speaking, when we started going to school and read ABCD, reading, and finally we started writing. So LSRW is the formal method of learning any language, not only our mother tongue or any regional language. Even if it comes to English language, this is the method to learn. But unfortunately, in our schools, this method is not practiced. They are going to reading and writing, and then they are asking us to listen and speak. So they are doing it in an ulta way. But what we will do, we will start listening and speaking first, like you are listening to my classes. Similarly, you are trying to speak also. Okay. So along with listening and speaking, we will also do reading and writing. It is in this manner that we will learn our English. That's why we call this session an activity come theory based class. If we simply learn theory, it will be boring for you. So for half an hour we will learn theory in all the classes. For half an hour we will also do some practical sessions. Today I didn't give you any pictures or topics to speak because self introduction is an important part that you should know. Okay. So from next class again we will continue that activity sessions. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. So I think now it's 5:30. We can wind up the session. So any doubts, students?
No, nothing. It's good.
Okay. Okay. So fine. So that was a good session today. Hope you are all clear.